in the inter-university law debate tournament. So we are in the day 3 in Group D, and there is a match between the University of Botswana in Gaborone, and we have as well ULACIT, Latin American University of Science and Technology in San Jose in Costa Rica. So for this match, I give the floor to my colleague.
Thank you very much, and good day to the two teams, and of course, good day and big thank you to the 3 judges that will be reviewing this debate. The topic for this day 3 debate that teams received 7 days in advance is whether or not artificial intelligence development should be regulated by international law to the same extent as nuclear technology. Before we find out the allocations of the debate positions, I would now be passing the floor to the teams for introductions, starting with the University of Botswana. Ms. Moving.
Yes, you can open the camera. Yeah.
Hello everyone, my name is Matatsi Mohorose from the University of Botswana.
Thank you, welcome. For Latin American University of Sciences and Technology, Ms. Sanchez.
Good morning to all. My name is Fiorella Sanchez, and our team is THIULDT, conformed by Julian Porras and Jimena Alvarado.
Thank you and welcome. Back to University of Botswana, Ms. Mogorosi.
Hi, my name is Namtanda Zamlebe from the University of Botswana. This is not good.
Thank you, welcome. Back to ULACIT team, Ms. Alvarado.
On YouTube.
Hello, my name is Jimena Alvarado from ULACIT. A pleasure to all meet you.
Thank you, welcome. And back to University of Botswana for your 3rd member introduction.
Hello everyone, my name is Risa Moran from the University of Botswana.
Yes, you're on mute, Ana Maria.
Thank you. And for the Latin American University of Sciences and Technology 3rd member, Mr. Salas.
Hi everyone, I'm Julian Porras from ULACIT, and I'm glad to have this debate.
Thank you, welcome. So in a few seconds, you should be able to see the wheel for the allocation of position.
Up. So when you will see on your screen.
Visible.
Yeah, okay. So as you can see, there are the double flags of the 2 institutions. There are 2 possibilities: to be in favor or to be against the motion. The team in favor will be starting the match with the first introduction. For this match, the University of Botswana will be against the motion. As a consequence, ULACIT, Latin American University of Science and Technology, will be in favor of the motion and will be starting the match with the first introduction. Concretely, ULACIT will be defending the position that artificial intelligence, AI, development should be regulated by international law to the same extent as nuclear technology, while the University of Botswana will be defending the position that artificial intelligence, AI, development should not be regulated by international law to the same extent as nuclear energy. So now both teams will have 5 minutes to review their notes. You can close camera and mic, and then we'll hear the introduction by ULACIT. here it is done with a 5 minutes preparation.
Yeah, just a short reminder, you will also get visual cues as regards to your match, yellow for 30 seconds remaining and red for when your speaking time is up. For that, if you see the red card, don't hesitate, you can comfortably conclude your sentence. And thus, Latin American University of Science and Technology team, you have 4 minutes for your opening.
Am I visible and audible?
Yes.
You are.
Okay, I will start my introduction in 3, 2, 1. Honorable judges, distinguished opponents, let me begin with a simple but really important question. Throughout history, what has the international community done when humanity created a technology powerful enough to threaten not only one nation, but the stability and security of the entire world? We have chosen cooperation over chaos. We have chosen rules over uncertainty. And most importantly, we have chosen international law over unregulated power. When nuclear weapons were first developed, the world quickly realized that their consequences cannot be contained within national borders. A single mistake, a single missus could have devastating consequences for humanity as a whole. For this reason, the international community have established systems such as the Non-Proliferation Treaty and the International Atomic Energy Agency, recognizing that some technologies are simply too powerful to be governed only at a national level. Today, we face a similar moment with artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is no longer a distant or hypothetical innovation. It already plays a central role in military systems, financial markets, cybersecurity, healthcare, and government decision-making. Increasingly sophisticated AI systems can analyze enormous amounts of data, influence public opinion, control autonomous machines, and even assist in strategic military operations. In other words, AI is simply rapidly becoming a global infrastructure of power, and like nuclear technology, its risks are not confined within national borders. An AI system developed in one country can influence elections in another. An algorithm designed for financial trading can trigger economic instability across global markets. Autonomous weapons powered by artificial intelligence could fundamentally transform warfare, raising serious concerns about accountability, human control, and international humanitarian law. In short, AI is a technology with global consequences, and when a technology has global consequences, the international community has both a legal and moral responsibility to establish common rules that protect humanity as a whole. International law already regulates activities that create cross-border risk. We see this in nuclear governance, in environmental treaties, armed control managed agreements, and international human rights law. These frameworks exist precisely to become the individual states acting alone cannot adequately manage risks that affect the entire international community. Artificial intelligence now presents a similar challenge. International regulation does not mean stopping innovation. On the contrary, it means guiding innovation responsibly. It means ensuring that technological progress occurs within a framework that protects global stability, human dignity, and international security. The question before this debate is therefore not whether AI is beneficial. We all recognize its enormous potential to advance science, medicines, and economic development. The real question is, should a technology with such profound global consequences remain largely unregulated at the international level? Our team firmly believes that it should not. Just as the international community created legal frameworks to manage the risks of nuclear technology, it must now develop comparable international safeguards to ensure that artificial intelligence serves humanity rather than threatening it. To demonstrate this, our team will present two central arguments. First, we will explain why artificial intelligence creates global risks that cannot be effectively addressed by a national regulation alone. And secondly, we will demonstrate why the comparison between artificial intelligence and nuclear technology actually supports the need for international cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you. For the against position, University of Botswana, 4 minutes. Whenever you're ready.
House at large, we first need to interrogate what does it mean when we say we are regulating to the same extent. This means that we are going to have binding international treaties, global monitoring tools, and institutions and restrictions on development of AI that are similar to those governing nuclear weapons. Government does not in any way tell us why AI can produce harm of comparable scale, speed, and irreversibility, which are the three reasons nuclear technology is regulated internationally. From opposition, we're going to prove to you that nuclear technology receives exceptional regulation because it is destructive in its nature and its destructive power is unparalleled. AI does not produce immediate mass destruction or harm on the same scale as nuclear technology, making the comparison from government very flawed. We're also going to tell you that nuclear weapons are regulated because they are designed to destroy humanity. Artificial intelligence is designed to advance humanity. Therefore, treating both technologies the same is not progression or not even precaution. House at large, it is legal overreach. From opposition, we tell you that we're going to argue on three arguments. The first one being on proportionality, and then the second one being on why we are stifling innovation and technological progress, and then lastly, a comparative analysis on why this is a flawed metric to begin with. Firstly, in terms of proportionality, House, artificial intelligence is not equivalent to nuclear technology. We tell you that nuclear technology is specifically on weapons of mass destruction, and artificial intelligence has a general purpose. This is technology that is used in medicine, climate protection, education, and economic development. For example, we have used artificial intelligence in cancer detection, which is a progress in the medical field. We don't think that we should stifle such progress just because we think that there is a risk. We don't even think that the risk that is brought by AI is so huge and proportional to the same risk that is from the proliferation of nuclear weapons. This is why from side opposition, we tell you that government is giving us a disproportionate and ineffective stance. An example will be on the case of the Barcelona traction case, where it was held that only extremely severe threats trigger universal obligations. In this matter, we don't think that there are universal obligations in terms of artificial intelligence. And this drives me to the second argument, which will show you that development is not proportional, and in no way are we being beneficiary to developing states when we regulate artificial intelligence on the same stance as nuclear weapons. So our second argument tells you that we're going to stifle innovation and technological progress. The reason why this is so panel is that international law has historically shown us that over-regulation stifles development for humanity at large. We tell you that in terms of an example of case law, the Lotus case, right, emphasized that states remain tuned and states are supposed to act for the development of their people unless there is a proportional or a prohibitive rule of international law. There is no rule of international law that equates artificial intelligence development to nuclear weapons. Therefore, we don't think that it is important or equivalent to garner such regulation as government wants us to do. And in terms of the interdependence of global economies, we think that when we do this, the developing states in particular would suffer because countries in Africa rely in AI for agricultural optimization, drought relief, financial inclusivity, and even public service delivery. So we believe that heavy regulation entrenches technological inequality. But also we tell you that the treaty that is used by government, right? We think that the nuclear proliferation treaty is based on assumptions that do not guarantee this treatment that government wants us to make, right? The nuclear proliferation treaty regime was built on three specific assumptions. One, on the scarcity and the identifiability of nuclear resources. And secondly, on the assumption that enrichment requires expensive specialized facilities. And lastly, that state actors are the primary proliferators of nuclear weapons. We don't think that that equates to artificial intelligence. Proud to oppose. Thank you.
Thank you. For the first rebuttal for the in favor position, ULACIT debate team, you have 2 minutes.
Am I hearable and visible?
Yes, you are.
I will start my intervention in 3, 2, 1. Artificial intelligence is rapidly changing global security and modern warfare, creating serious risks that justify a stronger international regulation. A research from Harvard Medical School warns that AI-powered weapons could represent a new era in warfare and pose a real threat to global stability. These technologies can speed up the design of advanced weapons and allow military systems to operate faster than before. raising concerns about control, responsibility, accountability during armed conflicts. At the same time, artificial intelligence does not only affect governments or military forces, it can also be used by non-state actors. Our research from the International Center for Counterterrorism showed that terrorist groups are already exploring ways to use generative AI technologies. These tools could help them create propaganda, spread false information, or plan operations more efficiently. As AI becomes easier to access or plan operations, extremist groups may gain new ways to expand their influence online. Similarly, analysis from the Combating Terrorism Center at West Point explained that large language models and other AI systems could be misused by violent extremist organizations. These technologies could help them gather information and organize activities and spread radical ideas more quickly. Taken together, these findings show that artificial intelligence is not only a technological innovation, but also a global security challenge. Because AI can influence warfare, terrorism, and international stability. Even its development completely unregulated could create serious risk. For this reason, a stronger international cooperation and legal frameworks are necessary to guide the responsible development and use of artificial intelligence. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. University of Botswana, you have 2 minutes for your first rebuttal.
Can you confirm I'm audible?
Yes.
You are.
Thank you. I will be starting my speech in the timer. I completely forgot about that.
Do you want to use my phone as a timer?
Yes, please.
Here's the clock. Stop watch here.
Perfect. All right. I will be starting in 3, 2, and 1. Panel, it's important to understand that we are not against artificial intelligence being regulated. We are against artificial intelligence being regulated as the same way nuclear powers are being regulated, because we think that the depth of how dangerous these things are is completely different. So I will engage on the first speaker and rebut on all their points. Firstly, they say that we value rules of uncertainty. We tell you that rules already exist. Each and every state has an obligation to actually make sure that they regulate artificial intelligence. We think a proper example of this is how the European Union has already introduced the Artificial Intelligence Act that seeks to regulate AI and how everything that under AI is going to be dealt. Secondly, we've already told you that the depth of nuclear power is not as vast as the depth of the nuclear development, because nuclear development is more deadly. It is resource intensive. It is usually owned or controlled by these hegemonies that the globe has. And it is so different from the AI development because it is vastly owned. And this is another important point and another important analogy, because it is clear and it is safer for these international laws to actually regulate something that is identifiable. And we think it is not easy to identify these AI tools because everyone has the capacity or the ability to own them. Everyone has the ability to control them. We think it is controlled by algorithms. It is controlled by technicalities. And we think that there is a very huge technical in practicality when it comes to actually enforcing these rules. And these rules are going to be ineffective because you cannot control an algorithm if everyone has it. So these international laws cannot control. A question to pose is, how can international laws control an unidentifiable system like the AI development tools or AI development? Thank you.
Thank you very much. For the second rebuttal, ULACIT team, 2 minutes.
Am I hearable and audible?
Yes.
I'll start my intervention in 3, 2, 1. Distinguished judges, I'll begin with a crucial point. Artificial intelligence creates global risks that cannot be effectively addressed by national regulation alone. AI intelligence should be regulated by international law to the same extent as nuclear technology, because both of these technologies generate risk that transcends national borders and affect global security. History shows that when technologies create catastrophic transnational risks, international law becomes the appropriate framework. Nuclear technology led to the creation of the international regimes such as the Treaty of Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, precisely because national regulation was insufficient. Today, AI presents a similar structural characteristics. Its dual-use technology capable of both civilian and military applications, and it creates a strategic competition among states. As explained in the paper Insights from Nuclear Technology for AI Governance may require international monitoring and coordination mechanisms like those used for nuclear technology because the consequences of the misuse of these technologies may have a global effect. Moreover, emergent jurisprudence already demonstrates that cross-border legal challenges generated by AI. In 2025, the Munich Regional Court had a case against OpenAI. The court held that AI systems must comply with copyright law and ordered damages for the unauthorized use of protected works during training. This decision illustrates that AI activities can be used and transnational legal consequences and therefore require coordinated international regulation. International governance frameworks already exist as precedents. Thank you.
Thank you. For the second rebuttal, University of Botswana.
Okay, once again, I will be starting. I do not know why I always forget with the timer. Right. In 3, 2, and 1. Yes. Panel, they continue to tell us the very same things that do not answer the questions of this debate. We tell you that it is impractical to regulate a system that cannot be easily identified, a system where everyone is capable of actually developing, number one. We've already told you the impracticality they ought to engage on that. But thirdly, we tell you that regulation is going to limit state sovereignty. And in the very same case that they mentioned, we tell you that the International Court held that states should also maintain their sovereignty over certain internal affairs and policy decisions. This is to say, adequate regulation is something that is already being offered in each and every state. And we tell you that when this regulation is being made to be very international, it is going to limit the states from actually engaging or from having that epitome of having the economic benefits that they want. Because we tell you that in the international courts, the very same law that they said, the court held that it is essential for courts or for systems or for states to regulate adequately. And we tell you that AI is being used to enhance each and every system in each and every country. Hence, in the event where we set these systems, it is actually impeding on the rights of each and every state to improve and to enhance their economy, to enhance their politics. They even tell us that AI is used to form or to regulate or to have public opinion. When we regulate this public opinion, it means that we are now telling people what to say. It means that we are giving power to certain bodies or to certain systems to push their certain agendas, which is something that we do not want. We do not want propaganda that is being pushed. Instead, we want people to have the ability to push their own public opinions because there is the sovereignty to do so, they have the autonomy to do so without necessarily being controlled by these very vast controls or by these very vast regulations that are going to be said by side opposition.
Dangerous because of how powerful it was and how it was used. Artificial intelligence follows the same pattern. A powerful technology developed for innovation that without global regulation can create risks no single country can control. Artificial intelligence is becoming one of the most powerful technologies in the world today, and its impact goes from beyond innovation or economic growth. AI is already changing how wars can be fought, how information is spread, and how security threats can develop. Because of this, the risks connected to AI are not only national, but global. As we discussed, AI systems can accelerate military technologies and could also be used for terrorist groups or other non-state actors. As these tools become more accessible, the chances of misuse increase. This means that consequences of AI development can affect many countries at the same time. A stronger international frameworks can help reduce risk while still allowing innovation to continue. In a world where AI can influence global security, responsible international governance is not just helpful, it is already necessary. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Now to hear the concluding statements for the against position, University of Botswana.
Okay, I'll start in 3, 2, 1. As the opposition, we tell you that AI is not equivalent to nuclear technology because nuclear weapons rely on rare materials and specialized features that can be physically tracked and inspected. AI is a software that can be copied, encrypted, and distributed globally in seconds. Millions of actors, not just state, develop AI systems. Because of this, nuclear-style inspections and safeguards simply cannot work in practice. Secondly, we tell you that the proposition's model will crush innovation and deepen global inequality. Nuclear regulation historically concentrated power in wealthy states capable of meeting strict compliance costs. Applying the same model to AI would lack developing nations out of technologies that improve healthcare, agriculture, and education, violating the principle of the right to development. Thirdly, we tell you that the terrorist use of AI should be handled under counter-terrorism frameworks, not nuclear-style technological prohibition, because the international law already criminalizes terrorism through these treaties, such as those coordinated by the United Nations. The issue is not terrorism, not AI development itself. If terrorists misuse cars, we regulate terrorism. We do not place nuclear level restrictions on the automobile industry. Thirdly, we tell you that the regime will be unenforceable. AI models exist as software files that can be hidden or transmitted online. A treaty cannot be verified, becomes either meaningless or selectively enforced against compliant states when bad actors ignore it. So we tell you that the proposition proposes the most intrusive regulatory framework in the history of technology, whose risks are still evolving. International law requires proportionality. Most AI systems, transition tools, recommendation systems, logistics, optimism pose an external threat. So we tell you that the question is not whether AI should be governed, it should, but it is whether a nuclear weapon treaty from the 1960s is the right tool, because we are telling you that we cannot rely on a Cold War treaty. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You can all now relax. You are no longer graded after this part. Well done on concluding your day 3 debates in this year's edition. Just for your information, this is actually the day 4, the 4th round. My apologies, the 4th match of the day 3 round. You are also concluding with your match the first day of day 3 debates in this week. So really thank you and well done for keeping the level high for the day 3s. As always, the judges will have the time to review and submit the scores, but already now I would like to invite you to share your feedback either on the topic, on the research, the exchange today, if you heard perhaps a familiar arguments, and if you were familiar with aspects of this topic prior to the debate. Starting with the ULACIT team, perhaps Ms. Sanchez.
Well, thank you for giving me the word. First of all, I was kind of familiarized with the topic. AI is mostly like a boom globally. So we already had investigated about the legislation of AI, but seeing it in comparison with the legislation applied to nuclear weapons and nuclear technology was a different perspective and a different point of view. I think the other team did a great job. They had great arguments, and it was a really great match, so I'm really grateful to have been a part of this. Thank you.
Thank you. To University of Botswana, Ms. Nkube.
I think it was a very interesting debate. We really appreciate all the arguments that came. Our opponents were very well researched, but we also had similar arguments. Maybe they would have differed just a little bit, but I feel like the stance would have been the same. Yes, the stance was the same as what we had initially planned, but it was a good debate. First to the other team.
you. Now back to San Jose, Ms. Alvarado.
Thank you for giving me the word. I think as the opponent team and as my partner said, this match was really amazing. It was really interesting hearing all the point of views that they had. Like they said, it's really same stance, but obviously with our own personal views. I think that AI is something really important right now, and to be comparing with such a interesting and radical like point of view, because nuclear technology is like a really big thing. I think it was a really kind of good perspective to have in the future things.
Thank you. Now to Gaborone, Ms. Mogorosi.
I found the debate very interesting, and on an individual level, I was watching something. It's a series, The Last Sheep. So the last seasons, they are tackling how the last war is going to be a cyber war. So when the motion was released, and then I was like, oh, AI, and in comparison to nuclear weapons, that's everything that I've been watching on this series. So it was a very interesting thing to get everything that I saw happening there, but to build legal arguments with everything that was happening there. And the arguments from the government were similar to the ones that we had when we were preparing for the government position. So it was very interesting to hear them being advanced in a different mindset and also in a different manner with how the speakers carried themselves.
Mr. Purasaras.
In my case, I think it was like innovative topic to research for all my team, and it was a great debate. Both had great arguments to discuss, and I think it's something that is very important nowadays because it's something that is becoming something in our daily life worldwide. So I think it's important to research about it.
And Ms. Morvenk.
Well, with the development of AI that is happening around the globe, we can just see that, on TikTok, you can see that people are very smart to that extent to use AI to even copy the most prestigious people and, just use it for their own fun. When this topic was released, I was like, okay, we are linking AI to something that, and even a nuclear war that we even are asking ourselves at this time, that with the war going on with Iran and the US, is there going to be a nuclear war? Now, with all these issues happening, them being combined into one debate topic, I found that very interesting and very fun to debate about. So, yeah.
Thank you, students, for the sharing. I would also like to give the floor to one of the coaches for the teams, specifically for the team of the Latin American University of Science and Technology, Dean Madrigal. Perhaps between day 1 and day 3, are there words of encouragement after this debate that you would like to share for the two teams?
Thank you. Thank you very much. I wasn't expecting this intervention, so it's my pleasure. First of all, I want to congratulate the team from Botswana. I really saw the preparation, not only the good management of the topic and their orality, and also for the team here at Costa Rica. Congratulations, guys! And yeah, just want to say thank you for this opportunity. I think that this type of competences and debates are really important. Not just to promote critical thinking, but also to have a civilized debate on important topics. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for sharing. And on that note, we would also like to use this day 3 to give the options for the students to give a shout out to or to thank anyone that they would like to highlight that supported them between day 1 to day 3, as we are now closing the group phase. So first, passing the floor to Team in Gaborone, University of Botswana's team. Who would you like to give the shout out to that supported you and or encouraged you in the past rounds?
First, as a team, if it's fair, I would like to give a shout out to us as a team. The team dynamics are very beautiful. It's like girls drilling the world once again. It's very beautiful being in this team. Secondly, would like to give a shout out to our debating team, the University of Botswana Debate Matters Association. It is the reason why we're able to be here. And then I'd like to give a shout out to our law school, because we're all law students, and all our lecturers who impact us with this knowledge, with the confidence, and with even the resources where we can actually get all this information that we want to get. And then a shout out to all our families, and yes, basically all that.
Thank you. Same question to the ULACIT team.
First of all, we'd like to give a special shout out to our coach, Jose Armando Madrigal. He has been an incredible support across the preparation and the execution of these debates. I'd personally also like to give a shout out to my teammates who have been doing incredibly hard work and have been incredibly dedicated to our performance in this debate team. And obviously to our families, are the support that they give us, the guidance that they give us is something that's really invaluable, and I'm really thankful for the opportunity.
Thank you. And also for the colleagues, if you would like to share. Great. Then, yes.
Say shout out to the coaches.
Well, I want to give a shout out to our coaches, Boago and Kaiju. They're not really here, but they've been with us through this journey of preparation. When the motions are out, they really give us an idea what to say. And even they do prepare these motions with us. They do give us ideas on how to speak, how to structure as a whole. And they do give us emotional support. So yeah, shout out to them.
Same for your ULACIT team, if you would like to add.
Yeah, we would like to add that we are also really appreciative for the organization that made this kind of debates, because we're really appreciateful for this kind of places, so we can improve in our daily life and we can improve in our careers, that we are also studying law. So I think that's really interesting to have this kind of moments to go and shout out.
Thank you very much. And for the final question, our final part of today's debate session of day 3, over the course of the competition so far, and of course during your studies, you have been exposed to many different areas of law. Is there perhaps an area of law or a specific country's legal system or international organization that motivates you or you find intriguing to continue exploring or learning more about as you go, either in your studies or in your future profession as you proceed? So first to ULACIT team.
So here at ULACIT, we are really focused on AI research and mainly on AI applied to law as a career. So of course, when we saw AI as a debate topic, part of the debate topic, it was really interesting for us because we've done a lot of research, but seeing it in light and in comparison to the legislation and the typification of nuclear technologies, it's presented a really good acronym between the two of them, because we had obviously investigated about both topics individually, but we hadn't combined them. Thank you.
For your colleagues, if you'd like to add.
I would like to believe that with my teammates and I, we are mostly interested in constitutional law as well as human rights law, because we have pertinent constitutional issues that are being addressed right now in Botswana. We are discussing whether we need a constitutional court, right? Yes. Whether we need a constitutional court. Lastly, we were debating indigenous persons' rights. It's all around human rights law. So for all 3 of us, we are very interested on human rights law / constitutional law. And even though we do not get to debate motions that are specific to those laws, we still were very appreciative that we got to expand our engagements and even engage on other types of law, for example, tax law. Robertson, would you like to say something?
Yeah, and recently, as we are currently exploring family law, this debate is a platform that, because the theme was centered around international law, we get to touch on aspects of, is marriage does Botswana get to, adopt the international law? Is it like, does Botswana, number one, use the international law? And we just know that Article 16 of the Human Rights Charter does actually support just Botswana using a dual system of, number one, using common law, using customary law, and even applying international law right here. So this platform is just the right way for us to appreciate international law as a whole.
From San Jose, if the ULACIT students would like to also expand.
We're good, thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. On that note, I'm passing the floor to Professor Levange to wrap up today's session.
Yes, thank you, and congratulations. It was a great match. I really appreciated watching it and as well to see the progression. We want to tell as well, of course, for the University of Botswana, that was your third match, but for ULACIT, this is the second match because the day 1 match is after the day 2 and day 3. So it means ULACIT will have a match against the University of Melbourne, because Melbourne did not have as well a first match. During day 1 in February. So, of course, you will receive for this current match, the one of today, the results from the 3 judges, and we thank again, we thank again the judge for watching the match. So, and we encourage you to keep in touch between the team in Costa Rica, the team in Botswana. There will be a networking session, but if you wish, already you can, like we have heard already in some match, you can see, we tag, of course, when we announce the match, the participants. So voila, so wish you the best and wish you a great rest of the week, and soon you will get the results. Thank you, bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.